welcome to the Christmas unboxing. That's unboxing number 12. Yeah, saying that sounds really stupid because this is so late. So really these are just models that I've received over the past like 2 months in one unboxing video because it had to be delayed so much because there was one model that just was delayed and kept on getting these delayed. So that just caused a whole bunch of issues. So we're kind of going to do this unboxing in like three uh, sections here. So yeah, welcome to Mass Unboxing number 12. Here's kind of a little overview of what we're going to see today. We'll get started with the first pile, and then we'll kind of move our way to the right here, concluding with these three. So yeah, let's get right into it. So we'll move some of these guys off to the side here. Well, actually, our first model, or well, multiple models, I guess, aren't going to be aircraft. They're going to be GSC. So we'll actually get all of these out of here, and we'll get started with our first one, which are these 1 to 400 scale Aero Classics GSC, just like a random pack of Aero Classics GSC. So that's great. This will be a nice addition to the GSC collection. I did just get some of the old Gemini ones, so now we have even more GSC. So now the GSC, I used to not have a lot of GSC, and that was one of the things that I didn't feel so great about with my airports. I just didn't have a whole lot of GSC. I think now we're going to be sitting pretty on well, these are all individually packed in the tiniest bags I've ever seen. So I will cut back once I have all these open. Okay, I will say that it was really stupid how much plastic is in there, but are you ready for it? Gotta do it. Okay, so they're 0 out of 10 on the packaging, but the GSE themselves are very good. As you could hear from the fall, they are metal. There was this one air stair that was broken that did not break because I dropped it. That was already broken like that. So we'll get the broken air stair. There's the other piece. We'll get that one out of the way. I don't think I'm going to be able to repair that one just because it's so tiny, but I mean, that's unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Not super big a deal. There's a lot of air stairs that came in this pack, so we'll unpack these all in the metaphorical sense, in the figurative sense here. So we'll go kind of one by one. I guess we'll start with our tug here, a pushback tug. Get these out of the way. It does come with its own like tug arm here. It's called something like that. I'm not not sure. But you can kind of get that like that, and then you can push it back. So there's that. It also comes with a super tug. This is probably like a 200 scale super tug. This is really big. Like we'll bring a bus next to it, and it's like bigger than the bus. So I wouldn't say this is the most realistic. I probably won't be using this piece all that much, but it does come with the set. I guess now we'll get into the buses. So there's this bus and then this bus. These are both kind of like the co-bus buses. Pretty standard airport style buses right here. And then we have this one, which is like a crew bus, like a little mini bus. That was pretty cool. What else we got in here? We have a lavatory truck. I'm excited about this one. That's pretty cool. We have just like this little delivery truck thing. Looks kind of retro, but I'm digging it. Speaking of trucks, we also have this fuel truck right here, which has CNAF on it, CNAF. Interesting. And we also have this catering truck. Sorry about the heater in the background there. This catering truck, I think it does go up. Oh, wow. It goes up and it even opens like that. That is fancy right there. It has some like Chinese catering company or Chinese airline on it. Beijing Air Catering. So not the most, accurate for what I'm trying to do. Sorry that my voice is like really messed up because of this cold. Definitely not good that I'm breathing in really dry air. But anyways, next up here we have this tug with a little GPU. So this would obviously be used to bring the GPU to the aircraft to power it on the ground. Very cool. We also have another tug, and then a luggage cart that goes with it. There you go. You also have a belt loader, which is not adjustable. Finally, we have this style of air stair, which is also the same one that was broken. So there should be two of those, but we got one usable one. We have this one here, which has a little cab in the front. This, I think, is supposed to be adjustable, but it doesn't look like it will. The metal is quite stuck. Then we also have this style right here, which you'd have to pull to the aircraft. And this, I like this one because this is similar to the ones that they have in Riga, so I'll definitely be using this one there. Very nice. And there are also two of these. So yeah, those are all the GSC and the 20 pack from Aero Classics. Definitely a good selection of GSC. You can get it from their website, Aero Classics Direct. And so yeah, that's the first part of this unboxing. Now we'll get into some of the aircraft models. So now we'll get into our first set of airplane models here. These I all unboxed on Christmas Day proper. So we'll get started with this first one. I was like, my voice is going crazy here. I was crying real tears doing the GSC unboxing. But this is what we go through for content. So this first model here is a McDonnell Douglas DC-10 here for Sun Country. This model, I just asked my uncle for any random model off of Jet Collector because they just have such a big selection of models. And he went with the Sun Country model, which is very cool because this is, local airline. I can use this for like retro MSP updates. So that is very convenient right there. And so continuing with the Aero Classics theme, I guess. So here's the plastic, and we'll pop the plastic off of this guy. And a little foam is there as well. Very well covered indeed. Now this one does not have the nose landing gear on it. That is because it is in this separate little baggie right here. For whatever reason, it has to be assembled separately, which don't know why that's the case. But the bag is like falling apart, so this should be easy just to slide it out like so, and we'll see how this goes in. We're back, and it's the next day, and hopefully my voice is better today. I just could not continue the video yesterday without like coughing every 5 seconds, and also probably creating a new ocean with how many tears were coming out of my eyes of resisting said coughs. Anyways, it is the next day. Here we have the Sun Country DC-10 by Aero Classics. I was able to get the landing gear, the nose gear in. It's pretty simple. You kind of just put the landing gear inside the doors, and then they just kind of go like just right up there. And they're a little bit finicky, but they eventually can get it in. I'm not the biggest fan of the being able to remove landing gears on models, as I feel as that the Dragon Wings removed detachable landing gear are they fall off quite easily. I think Aviation 400 has done a better job at making sure that they don't fall off. So I guess props to them. They're using magnets instead of just like trying to hope that it fits together. So good job at Aviation 400. But the Aero Classics, they did fine. I'm worried that the landing gear is still gonna like it's a little bit wobbly when you move it, but wouldn't recommend moving Aero Classic landing gear anyway because they easily break off. Anyways, here we have our cockpit windows. Here is the L1 door. Here are the little like Sun Country sun thing, which kind of looks like the inside of a jawbreaker, but that looks pretty cool right there. This is obviously their old scheme. Like this doesn't really compare to what they currently have, their current logo. But yeah, here we have the nose gear. Here we see the beginning of the red, orange, and yellow cheat lines, which go down the fuselage here. These go past the L2 door into the Sun Country billboard titles right here. As you can see, these are in a different font than the current livery, and even the livery that's on the DC-10 15s, which they kept around for a little bit longer. Those employ the use of the current font and logo, just not in the same livery as like the blue one. But that's very interesting right there. Here we have the engine, which is just completely blank. Then we also have our wings with all the applicable details on them, which is very well molded on there by Aero Classics. Here we also have our main gear. It doesn't have the central gear, as that was like the one in there that wasn't on the DC 1010s or 15s, so that's not molded on here. We also have a stand hole in the bottom. Here we have a beacon up here. Here's the American flag. Registration is November 572 Sierra Charlie. Also, we had our L3 door on the C, and here's the L4 door. Once again, we have the sheet lines coming up the tail now, and that looks very nice. Very retro look, for sure. And it's a pretty simple livery, all things considered, on NPR News. But all things considered, it is a very clean livery. That was an NPR reference. I don't know if you got that. All things considered, it's a show that they run on the radio. But here's the Sun Country DC 1010. Very nice model indeed by Aero Classics. Good job by my uncle for picking this one out from all the options that are available on Jet Collector, which are they have like thousands on Jet Collector. So good. This is a good choice, and there already goes the landing gear. As I said, shouldn't roll the Aero Classics gear, and case in point as to why, as this one has already broken. So that will be something to fix for another time. But anyways, that'll do it for our first aircraft. Didn't make it long before we got a broken model, but that, I mean, I won't count Aero Classics. I will say that that's not very good landing gear design, but that did not arrive broken. So that one is not Aero Classics or Jet Collector's fault that arrived like that, or I mean, because it didn't arrive in that condition. That was me. Anyways, our next model, this one will be the NG Models Wiz A321neo with the wardrobe malfunction pink nose. So this will be for my Riga airport. Of course, pretty much as soon as I asked for this model for Christmas, Wiz pretty much almost completely pulled out of Riga. Now they only have one route left. Thankfully, it is on this aircraft, but very disappointing because they were like the third largest airline at Riga when I started the Riga Airport Update series, and now they're one of the smallest airlines at Riga. So that really sucks. Maybe they'll come back for the summer season, but sad times for Wiz. But there's the box, and now we'll get this open and slide this guy out. This is the old, like, A321 box style where it has, like, the cardboard thing there that holds up the plastic, which is very interesting. But here we have our model. We'll just toss that off to the side right there. And now here we'll get into the review of this beautiful NG Models Wiz A321neo. So of course we're going to begin with the mismatched nose cone, which Jim Fan 2016 would say this is a wardrobe malfunction. I believe that he coined the term for that. So there's that. I believe the old Wizz Air livery was all in pink. So this is like their Euro white. Here we have the cockpit windows. Here's the L1 boarding door, nose gear down there, and we also have our first antenna. Here are the Wiz billboard titles, which are like outlined in this like gradient from purple into pink, with the I being an exclamation mark, which is a really great name for an airline. Don't know how they came up with that one, but it's a great name. Into the middle of the fuselage here we have our overwing exits and the exit paths right here. This is, of course, in the high-density configuration for the A321neo. We have the WizzAir.com engines right here in pink. You can also see the inside right there. And then we also have the winglet here, which is blank on the outside, but I believe it says WizzAir.com on the inside of the winglet. We have a beacon, and then for that we do have another antenna, and then third one back towards the tail, but we have our L2 door, I guess. And this is, of course, not a door plug. This is a proper exit door, as Wizz Air. I believe they have the highest. They max out on capacity for the A321neo. as they are a budget airline, and so they try to fill this thing to the absolute fullest that it can be. So they have to use that as an exit door. Here we have the WizAir.com titles once again. And now here we see the part of the aircraft where there's a swoosh of purple that goes up the tail. Still most of it is in pink. You also have the Hungarian flag back there. And then the registration Hotel Alpha dash Lima Victor Charlie. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it for this aircraft. Also, we have our stand hold down there and our main gear. Sometimes I forget to go over the bottom of the aircraft, but yeah, great Model ING models. Very cool livery here for Wiz. Wish they operated more flights into Riga. Very appropriate name for a Hungarian airline, and I say that to all my Hungarian friends with love, as a fellow Eastern European. Heck yeah, we're great. So, yeah, there's the second model of this unboxing, and now on to yet another European model. This one I think is definitely the most exciting out of all of them, and we'll bring it up right here. It is the Aviation 400 Lufthansa Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner in their new livery, of course. So this is very exciting right here. The box doesn't sell it very well, but here it is. This is also from Jet Collector. All these were from Jet Collector, actually. This model is actually cheaper than the Gemini Jets Lufthansa 787-9, so I highly recommend it. And I think you'll see when we unbox it that that it is definitely better than the Gemini Jets version. The box doesn't sell it too well, but it is a fantastic model. So we'll get that out of here. There is a stand that comes with it on the bottom here, so I'm probably not going to get it out of the plastic, but I will at least try to get it off of the box here. But this is difficult to do with one hand. It's a lot of tape holding it on. There we go. So here's the stand that comes with it, which will be very useful for displaying this thing. And then we'll flip this guy over, pop off the top, and here we have. Bring it on. I'm making a mess. Alright, and here is our Lufthansa 787-9 Dreamliner by Aviation 400. Look at this thing. This is absolutely immaculately detailed, and this is cheaper than the Gemini Jets one, believe it or not. So beginning up here, we have our nose cone here, the cockpit windows. We have the little Lufthansa logo right there, and then we also have our nose gear door as well, and the Star Alliance emblem right next to the L1 door, with also Lufthansa's little thing right there. I forget what that says. I think it says ironically something about them being a 5-star airline, even though they're not a 5-star airline anymore. And I can attest to that because I flew on Lufthansa this past summer. Definitely not 5-star worthy. I wouldn't say that they're the best of airlines right now, at least on their 747-8. Kind of an outdated product for a brand new aircraft. So not really sure how that happened, but yeah, definitely not worthy of the said 5-star thing. But here we have the Lufthansa titles up here. This is the same as with their older livery. They haven't enlarged them or anything, unlike most airlines. So that's very interesting. This is down here, Boeing 787-9, and it also has this aircraft is named after the city of Berlin. So that's what we have right there. We also have our molded 3D beacon on this model. Insane how Aviation 400 can do that. They're amazing. I love Aviation 400, and this is a case in point as to why. This is now my 4th Aviation 400 model with like a molded on beacon. I believe my 4th period. I don't think I have any other Aviation 400s, so that's great. I love it. Here we have the first antenna SATCOM dome right there. Then we have these two little things. I'm not really sure what these are, but they are represented in 3D, and you can run your finger over them, and you can feel them. That's really cool. Here we have the engines, of course, very well molded on right there. A lot of good detail on these. Another great job at Aviation 400. Here we have the main gear, which do tilt, so that is very nice. Also got a stand hole on the bottom and another 3D beacon on the bottom. Also, I guess I should just mention here we have another antenna, which is in red. L3 door, and then we have another SATCOM dome or Wi-Fi dome or whatever that is used for. Registration is Delta Dash Alpha Bravo Papa Alpha. And here we have the German flag and then the European Union flag. And I believe it's on the other side of the aircraft. I will have to show you here. We also have two more antennas. This one is bent a little bit the wrong way, so that is a little bit inaccurate right there, but nothing bad when compared to the majesticness of the rest of this aircraft. But here we have the new Lufthansa tail, of course, with their Bureau white livery. They got rid of the yellow, which I love the yellow on their old livery. So this one, it is kind of sad that they got rid of that, but it's too bad. This side features, of course, the cargo doors on the starboard side. And that's not how the German flag looks. For whatever reason, they had a printing error. The black line on top of the German flag did not print on the starboard side, so that's really the only error with this model, but that's not a big deal. That and the antenna, I mean, that's just minuscule, so it doesn't really bother me. But this model is a great release by Aviation 400. They did a fantastic job on this one. Highly recommend picking it up if you're in the market for Lufthansa 787-9, as I was, because Lufthansa has announced service to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and that's incredible. They will be flying here, competing with Condor Airlines. So that is really cool to get another international carrier in here, and a Star Alliance one, which who would have thunk that it would be a Star Alliance airline flying into MSP? That just doesn't compute, but we're glad to welcome Lufthansa in here and add another variation to the fray at MSP. It's not going to be monotonously Delta next year, so that is absolutely what we love to see. And so yes, welcome Lufthansa to MSP, even though that's going to be until the summer. So a few more months that we have to wait. But glad to have the model here, and it will do absolute wonders, as it is a very fantastically made model. So now we'll move into some of the models that I got after the actual Christmas day. And our first culprit here will be this Delta A320-200 by NG Models. Super excited to finally introduce the Delta A320 to the fleet. It has been the main part of the Delta fleet that we've been missing ever since Gemini released the E175. So we finally have the A320 in the fleet, and I'm so happy to welcome this one here. This will be a great addition here. It will make the airport updates definitely a lot more realistic at MSP, now that we have checked off another box here for the Delta fleet. Really the only Delta aircraft that flies into MSP that I don't have is the A330-200, and the 767-400 I don't have, and I can easily get that one, but they don't fly those into MSP, so I'm kind of waiting for Gemini Jets to release the breast cancer awareness one, because heck yeah, cancer survivor gets cancer plane. So that one I'm waiting for on the release for, but this one I am super happy to add into the collection for Delta, for MSP. It's great. We'll get this one out of the plastic here. We'll actually get the collector's card out. Here it is. It is in this kind of like light blue, baby blue color, which is very interesting. It's definitely different. Looks great. And hopefully NG Models will open up their collector rewards store again, because I now have a decent amount of points that I can turn in, that I can trade in for some models here, because I have been saving up my points for the last two openings of the CRP store. So now I believe I have over 100 points. So hopefully NG will open that up soon. But here we have our model here. Looks like that was just some debris on the wing. I thought there might have been a paint chip on the wing, and I got really nervous that I would have a whole like massive paint chip right there, but it looks like that was just some extraneous debris. So good thing that we got that off, and now we'll get into the review of our model right here. So here we have our cockpit windows. Here's the SkyTeam logo, the L1 boarding door right there, and our nose gear. Here we have the Delta titles, which people were complaining that they are a little bit small on this model, and I guess they are, but Delta titles were already small on the aircraft anyways, so I honestly don't really see it. They are a little bit small, but it's pretty negligible if I'm being totally honest. The other issue that people were complaining about is that the windows were a little bit too high up on this model, and also, yeah, I guess I agree with that because this is quite a big drop from the exit doors themselves to the actual like wing, and you can see that with, like comparing to the Wiz there, how that's definitely a lot more realistic. So yeah, there is a little bit of printing error with the fuselage, but really not that big of a deal. It's like millimeters off, and I'm not going to complain about millimeters in this moment. Centimeters, I will care about, but millimeters, if it's that negligible, I'm not gonna raise a big fuss about it. I'm just happy to have a Delta A320, but maybe I'll get the Gemini Jets one, and we'll do a little comparison. But for now, I'm happy with the NG models. We also have two antennae up here. Yeah, the overwing exit path. Here are the wings. No paint chipping on these, as I previously thought there was. So that is absolutely great to see. We also have our CFM56 engines right there, which are molded on beautifully. Here we have another SATCOM dome right there, and an American flag registration is number 320 Uniform Sierra, so former U.S. Airways aircraft, I presume. Here we have the L2 door, and then we also have the beautiful Delta widget on the tail. Love to see that. And then we also have our APU detailing, and then the horizontal stabilizers as well. All that good detail. That comes with these NG models. So another fantastic NG model to add to the collection. So nothing too much more. Oh, so we have I forgot about the Delta belly. We got to go over the Delta belly. Here it is. The E's getting cut off by the stand hole, but here's the Delta belly. Looking fantastic right there. Another great Delta belly to add to the collection. Delta is the largest airline in my collection, and they comprise about a fourth of it, which is pretty insane. Yeah, I didn't realize that, but I believe the top like 4 or 5 airlines in my collection comprise about half of my collection at least, which is quite crazy, honestly. It is kind of crazy to think about sometimes. So, yeah, very fortunate to have the collection that I do. Almost at 300 models. We're very close. We're at 291, I want to say. Maybe 200. Maybe we got a little bit closer now. But we're approaching the big 3 hundo mark. So that is very cool. And so, yeah, glad to add this Delta A320 to the Delta fleet and look forward to seeing it in future MSP airport updates. So now move past the good molds and on to the Gemini Jets and JC Wings molds. So brace yourselves. Actually, they're pretty good for what we're going to be seeing today. But brace yourselves yet still. So our first Gemini Jets model today, this one is part of the awesome, I think, July releases. I remember they came out when I was in Latvia and I was super pumped about them. So this is pretty much the final model that I wanted to get from that release. And so yeah, it's now in the collection. It is the American Eagle, Bombardier Dash 8-100 in the Piedmont Retro livery. The most random model of the year, but also a really cool release by Gemini Jets. Here it is. You can see it on the inside. You also got your pamphlet right there. So I don't know if you can really read that because the lettering is pretty tiny. There's a pretty tiny box right here. Of course, the regional box. There you see the aircraft. All of the good stuff that you get here on the Gemini Jets boxes. 2023 copyright and American Airlines license. So all those good things. We'll pop this guy out of the cardboard cage and then out of the plastic cage as well. And this guy is missing a. This guy's missing a nose gear. Yeah, it's in. At least it's in the box still. So we'll pop this guy out. So I see a little, oops, I see a little silhouette of a detached Dash 8 nose gear right there for this American Eagle Dash 8 100. So that's an issue. Um, so our first major QC issue of the unboxing, because I wouldn't really count the Sun Country against it, but this one did arrive like that. So that is quite unfortunate. Definitely detached there. I think I'll be able to glue it, I hope, because it looks like I'll still be able to insert it back into the hole there where it's supposed to be. But yeah, that's not great, to say the least. So I guess we'll be doing the review with the aircraft sitting like this, so that's quite a bit unfortunate. Alright, now I guess we'll get into our review of this very much lopsided model. We have our cockpit windows right here, where the nose gear is supposed to be. We have, well, I guess we have operated by Piedmont right there. Cool to see that they're still sticking around as a a regional provider for American Eagle, even though that they're obviously not like what they used to be. But here we have the American Eagle titles right there on the bottom of the aircraft very uniquely. Then we also have our L1 door right there. We have a One World logo as well. And we also have all of our windows right there with an underwing exit, I guess. And now we also have our props here as well. This one does not spin. This one does, though. So here you got those. And we also have our main gear right there. Very, very iconic of the Dash 8 series. We also have our wings as well, with all of the appropriate details on them. Of course, with the Piedmont livery, you have the kind of light blue cheat line, which goes on the aircraft with a smaller red one that goes underneath. And then we also have a registration right here, which is over 837 Echo X-ray, and the American flag, of course. We also see our luggage door right there, which is on the port side of the aircraft on these RJs, which is unlike how they are on the mainline fleet. Here's the other side of the aircraft. We have the Piedmont logo on the tail, of course. Very retro right there. My voice sounds absolutely terrible right now. But yeah, very, very cool looking model right here, of course, except for the dang nose gear, which is just falling constantly. Definitely the fall guy of this massive unboxing. So that'll do it for this aircraft right here. Not great QC, but a very interesting model right here. This is technically a retro release. Not super retro. This was around back in like 2015 or something. Or I believe American kept their Q100s until, I want to say 2017. That's when they retired them. So this isn't like super retro, but it has retro vibes with it. I don't know why this was released now. I didn't even know that this livery existed, so this is very much a surprise for me to see. But I like it. I like that it is very just a peculiar release by Gemini Jets, but I'm glad that they did it. So it'll be an interesting one. I don't know what I'm going to really do with this because I don't anticipate I'll be including this in many airport updates, but maybe at some point I'll find a way to sneak it into one. But we'll see. Maybe like a retro Kalamazoo update. I don't know. If Piedmont like flew Q100s into Kalamazoo back in the day, then maybe this could be useful actually. I'm not sure really what I'm going to be using this for. So we'll see what happens with this aircraft. But if it does appear in an airport update in the future, then that will be really cool. But it is a cool concept by Gemini, and I should be able to fix that nose gear. So hopefully we'll be able to get the repairs done, the appropriate repairs done on that one, and we'll see it when it starts service, looking all nice, new, and fresh. I don't know why I always have to be sick when I am doing these massive unboxings. This is like the fourth massive unboxing that I've been sick for, which is a third, which I don't know how that always keeps happening. Definitely a skill issue on my part, on my immune system's part, I should say. My immune system hasn't had the greatest history, so Not very surprised at this point, but our next model here, maybe we'll change that history. It is the Gemini Jets 1 to 400 scale Delta 737-900. This is the newest release, the 2023 release. And so definitely very excited to get this one open. I guess we just saw the American box, so we don't really have to go into too much detail on this one. I'm trying to speed up these massive unboxings for you guys because I know they can be a bit of a slog sometimes. So we're going to try to make this one fast. Maybe under half an hour. We'll see. But here is this guy. This will be my third Delta 737-900. So that is now the most repeated aircraft in my collection that is actually not repeated. Well, I mean, that's not the same model that is repeated. It's just the same aircraft type, which is repeated threefold. The only other aircraft type and airline that does that is, at least in the same livery, I should also say, because Sun Country, I have a whole bunch of their 737-800s, and Southwest, I have a whole bunch of 737-700s. So maybe I should stop myself before I just keep on rambling about duplicates, but whatever. Here we have the Gemini Jets Delta 737-900 in the flesh. This is, of course, the 2023 release. The main thing that distinguishes this one is the two StatCom domes and the massive wing flaps. So we'll get started with a review with the cockpit windows right here. Here we have our nose gear, the SkyTeam emblem right there, next to the L1 boarding door, and all of Delta's awards they display right outside the door. Here we have the Delta titles right there, which, I mean, they're very similar to the NG. They're a little bit bigger than the NG Models one, but it's still pretty similar in size, that I won't give NG too much slack for making them too small. But yeah, accurately sized Delta logo right there. And then we have our CFM56 engine right here, just like the A320. And our overwing exits and exit paths. I also have an antenna right there. Here's our scimitar winglet. We have our main gear down there and our nose gear as well. Here's the Delta belly, of course. Gotta love the Delta belly. With also the wheel wells right there and a stand hole as well. Of course, we have mad wing flex on the theme of Gemini Jets 2023 is, I guess, insane wing flex, and I guess 2022 is wing flex on their 737 models. Don't want to complain too much, but it is not great, to say the least. I don't want to say the next E175, but it's kind of the next E175. So hopefully Gemini Jets can get around to fixing that, but we'll see if they can improve. So hoping Gemini can improve their 737 molds a little bit here in terms of the wing flex. They were able to do it with the E175, which I will commend them for. So hopefully they'll be able to do it with the 737, their 737 NG molds as well. But here we have our door plug, the infamous door plug. This is, of course, not on the MAX 9, but, you know, it is a door plug on the 737, so there you go. You have another antenna up there. Yeah, the American flag registration on this one is November 856 Delta November. And then we also have the beautiful Delta tail right here. I swear that the door plug thing is going to become like infamous now, or with these models. We're going to be pointing that out in every single unboxing here. Just you wait. Now that's going to be a prime feature on models that is included in, which would be this case in point, this 737-900. You also get it on some A321 Neos, 737 MAX 9, of course. So we're going to be pointing it out now, I guess. So get ready to see a whole bunch of door plugs. We're going to plug a whole lot of door plugs in these videos. But yeah, there is this beautiful model by Gemini Jets. Maybe not the most beautiful, but it gets the job done. And it'll be very useful at MSP, of course, because we did need a third one. There are a lot of 737-900s that fly into MSP. So it was very well needed. And now we are moving on to our final model of this unboxing already. So this one been very much, I have at least been very much anticipating, but the sound does not bode well. Which, I don't believe that is a stand on this one. That is definitely not a stand on this one. So that is a broken piece on the aircraft. So it looks like we'll need some more glue on for this unboxing. But this model here is the JC Wings 1/400 scale Air New Zealand. This box is pretty big, so I'll have to pick up the camera here. The Air New Zealand 777-300 by JC Wings in the all black livery, which gotta love that right there. Of course, very cool box. Here you see the aircraft, at least the front of the aircraft. And then we also have the Air New Zealand logo and the little leaf on the tail, which I always forget what that is called, but is a symbol of New Zealand, and it was actually almost appeared on their flag that they voted for, but did lose to the current New Zealand flag in their latest flag referendum. So that's very interesting right there. We see, of course, the specifications for the 777-300 on the other side. But we will get this out of the box right here. Which I guess I'm unboxing it upside down, but that is no biggie. And I'll cut away, and we'll bring this back on, because I'm feeling I'm going to struggle with this plastic here. This one's tough. So you can see the aircraft off to the top left there. I did want to point out how beat up the plastic cradle is. I'm not sure how this happened. I don't know if this is like a jet collector issue or a USPS issue or a JC Wings issue, but all the plastic is like cracked, and I wonder if that kind of like caused the tail, the horizontal stabilizer issue somehow. But that is not like great, obviously. I do not know how that happened. I've never experienced that before, so that's not a great sign. But here we have the aircraft, of course, with the missing freaking horizontal stabilizer. Here's that. That should be an easy fix, but disappointing still. So we're just going to do the review without it for now. That's too bad. So here we have our aircraft right here. The livery does look absolutely sick. I love the Air New Zealand livery, especially the all blacks one. It is stunning. I'm sad that I missed out on the Aviation 400 version, because that one obviously would have been better than this. But the JC Wings 1/400 777-300 mold is still really good. Same one that Gemini Jets uses, and I'm a big fan of it. Maybe not quite as good as the Aviation 400, but still very high marks on this one. We have our nose cone up there. Here we have our cockpit windows right there. Here is the Star Alliance logo, and our nose gear down here. Here is the L1 door, the Air New Zealand titles in white on the all-black fuselage, of course. Here we have the SATCOM dome right there, and then the first antenna. L2 door. Here we have our, I believe that's the GE90 engine right there. And our L3 door with overwing exit paths as well on the wing. And here we see our very well molded 777-300ER wings. Also, we have our main gear down here, which do tilt. Also, on the underside of the wing, it does have the registration right there. Very nice. We'll cover the registration as we move to the back of the aircraft right here. But here we have our L4, another dome, SATCOM dome or Wi-Fi dome or whatever that is. 2 more antennae. Of course, the fern that comes up again. I gotta learn the official name for what that's called here. But of course, very iconic for its use on the Air New Zealand aircraft, and also for its place in New Zealand culture, obviously. So we'll get it zoomed in on the tail here with the gorgeous Air New Zealand logo. It is a very beautiful livery. Unfortunately, the execution did not turn out very well. You also have our registration down here. This one is, come on, focus, please. Zulu Kilo - Oscar Kilo Quebec. Also the landing gear. I guess I forgot to tell you if the landing gear rolled on these models, but on this one it does. Most of them do, except for the Gemini Jets ones, but that's beside the point. The point is that this model came broken, but it's still a really cool model. Definitely, I still recommend it. Hopefully, your plastic cradle doesn't come beat up, and hopefully it doesn't come broken. But it's a really cool livery, and yeah, so I don't know if I can really say good job JC Wings on this one. Good job Air New Zealand on making a really cool livery. I think an Air New Zealand belly would look really cool though if they did that. But I'm not really sure. Also, like the American Eagle, maybe not in terms of the retro, for reasons that it is retro, but not really sure where I'll use it in like an airport update. But the livery is so cool, and it's a new airline, it's a new country to add to the collection, so had to go for it here. It just looks so cool. So that'll be the 7th and final airplane model in this massive unboxing. So I'll definitely have to crack my glue out for some of these JC and Gemini Jets models, but you know, I what do you expect at this point? I'm kidding. They've been doing a good job recently, so this is a little bit of a hiccup, but I haven't really had any Gemini Jets, defective Gemini Jets in the past year, so that's good to see. A little bit of an issue now, but I can look past that because they'll be pretty easy to fix, I'm sure. But we'll bring all the models in for one last concluding shot here and for our closing remarks. So here is the full recap here. Had some great models here like the Lufthansa 787-9 NG models, Delta A320 and Wizz Air A321neo right here. Got a good amount of GSE here from Air Classics. We also had some problems in today's unboxing there with some of the GSE American Q100 and Air New Zealand 777, but you know, what are you going to do? There are some great models to add to the fleet, and will look great on the display shelves. Thank you all for coming and visiting this massive unboxing here. And that's unboxing number 12, or is it now number 13? No, this is number 12, I believe. So, yeah, great selection right here of models, so I would wish you all a happy holiday, but it is a little bit late for that. So, I don't know, happy Groundhog Day? That's coming up pretty soon. Seems like the 3 more weeks left with winter was actually 3 weeks ago left of winter, because it was 50 degrees out today. It is spectacular. So maybe more plane spotting coming out soon. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll do some more live streaming from the airport, because I really like doing that. So I'll have to bring that back at some point. But that's all we have for today's unboxing. Thank you all for checking this one out. I will see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.